How's it going, guys? It's HermitGRAB here, and on the previous video we talked about the plant side of Plants vs. Zombies but Pokemon. But for now we'll be changing teams to the zombie side of things. However, I will not be counting the Zombotany zombies and Giga Gargantuar, since they don't have a place in the almanac. If y'all want to see the previous video with the plant side of Plants vs. Zombies but Pokemon, you can check it out on the card on the top right corner of your screen so that you can stay up to date. Now let's get to the rules. 6 Pokemon per character, no legendaries, mythicals, or ultra beasts allowed, and only 1 starter if necessary. Now that we have the rules covered, let's get to the teams, starting with Zombie. Zombie's team is Golduck, Parasect, Gengar, Drampa, Skuntank, and Nidoking. Regular old Zombie has a team that works as a blueprint for all the other zombies, while also keeping it related to his character. Golduck because of the zombie Psyduck in the Pokemon Adventures manga, Parasect because its mushroom turns a Paras into a zombie, Gengar for being a part of the infamous Buried Alive team, Drampa and Skuntank because of zombies' liking to old and stinky brains, and Nidoking for zombies' liking to brains past their prime. And I'm pretty sure that Nidoking is very much past his prime, since his best years are from Gen 1 to Gen 3. Next is Flag Zombie. Flag's team is Sensu Oricorio, Jellicent, Pidgeot, Cofagrigus, Chatot, and Tauros. Sensu Oricorio, since its Pokédex Moon entry, says that it summons the dead. Jellicent because of it being Marlin's ace, and Marlin gives you the wave badge, pairing that with Flag Zombie leading a huge wave of zombies. Pidgeot for being able to learn Tailwind, and the PvZ Crazy Dave official guide says that Flag Zombie moves faster because of the wind behind him. And Cofagrigus, Chatot, and Tauros to reference the first 3 worlds in PvZ2, and Flag Zombie leading all of these annoying to difficult zombies to battle. Next is Conehead Zombie. Conehead's team is Ludicolo, Wigglytuff, Mudsdale, Behem, Excavalier, and Mismagius. Conehead's team is divided into halves, with Ludicolo, Wigglytuff, and Mudsdale taking the party half, with dancing, singing, and pin the tail on the donkey, since Conehead loves to party. Then Behem, Escavalier, and Mismagius because of Conehead's liking to tall, cone-like hats. Up next is Pole Vaulting Zombie. Pole Vault's team is Weirdeer, Rapidash, Hitmonlee, Hawlucha, Machamp, and Cinderace. Pole Vault's team is all about jumping high, running fast, and loving exercise, with Weirdeer and Rapidash contending for jumping, or vaulting in this case, and Hitmonlee, Hawlucha, Machamp, and Cinderace, all of them being athletes similar to the athletic Pole Vaulting Zombie. Next up
is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
Buckethead's team is Solrock, Bastiodon, Gigalith, Scovillain, Probopass, and Galarian Slowking. Solrock because Buckethead likes sunset walks, as stated in the Crazy Dave official guide, Bastiodon and Gigalith to show the defense of Buckethead Zombie, Scovillain because the Wild West Buckethead Zombie in PvZ2 using a chili bowl, Probopass because of its headpiece looking like a bucket. A very stretched out bucket. And Slowking since its demeanor is similar to Buckethead Zombie in some form or fashion. Next up is Newspaper Zombie. Newspaper's team is Semipour, Pyroar, Taurus, Crustle, Scolipede, and Decidueye. Newspaper Zombie's team is to show his love of horoscopes, though he likes them upside down for some reason. Semipour for Aquarius, Pyroar for Leo, Taurus for, well, Taurus, Crustle for Cancer, Scolipede for Scorpio, and Decidueye for Sagittarius. Up next is Screen Door Zombie. Screen Door's team is Parasect, Klefki, Hariyama, Crustle, Avalugg, and Bastiodon. Screen Door's team is a bunch of Pokemon that use some kind of physical barrier, although Parasect is in the team because of the night levels, where mushrooms debut, and Klefki because it's a key for a door zombie. Next is Football Zombie. Football's team is Aggron, Hariyama, Iron Hands, Machamp, Rampardos, and Chestnut. Football Zombie's team is all about hulking, bulking, big body Pokemon similar to an American football athlete. But Hariyama and Iron Hands are particular here because of Football Zombie and the Mecha Football Zombie similarities. Next is Dancing Zombie. Dancing's team is Hypno, Ludicolo, Oricorio, any of them, Avalog, Seeking, and Buffalant. Hypno because of the disco is undead achievement, Ludicolo and Oricorio because both of them are dancing Pokemon, Avalog and Seeking because of the dancing zombie shoes, and Buffalant because of his afro. Up next are the backup dancers. Their team is Bale Oricorio, Pom Pom Oricorio, Pau Oricorio, Sensu Oricorio, Maractus, and Ludicolo. The backups team is a bunch of dancing Pokemon. Not necessarily powerful, but very annoying if you don't take out their boss. Next is Ducky Tube Zombie. Ducky's team is Golduck, Pelipper, Swanna, Porygon 2, Sirfetch'd, and Honchkrow. Ducky's team is meant to show his Ducky Tube because all of these Pokemon have some kind of appearance or semblance to the Ducky Tube for Ducky Tube Zombie. Next is Snorkel Zombie. Snorkel's team is Palossand, Lantern, Relicanth, Huntail, Gorbis, and Cursula. Snorkel's team is all about Pokemon that you can see underwater, with Palossand being the outlier because you can encounter Snorkel Zombie in PvZ2's Big Wave Beach. Next is Zomboni. Zomboni's team is Avalog, Hisuian Avalog, Arctozolt, Vanilluxe, Cetitan, and Iron Bundle. Zomboni's team is very simple. All of them are Ice-type Pokemon that can leave a trail, similar to his role in the game, with all of these Pokemon being tanky walls to reference his high defense. Up next is the Zombie Bobsled team. Bobsled's team is Alolan Sandslash, Alolan Ninetales, Glaceon, Walrein, Weavile, and Iron Bundle. The Bobsled team is meant to show fast Ice-type Pokemon that work together as a team. Although, sadly, there's very few Ice-type Pokemon known for their speed. Up next is Dolphin Rider Zombie. Dolphin Rider's team is Sharpedo, Basculegion, Lapras, Gyarados, Wailord, and Palafin. Dolphin Rider's team is all about rideable Pokemon, so I gave it a team of Pokemon that you can ride in the water, alongside Wailord and Palafin for being aquatic mammals, especially Palafin since it's a dolphin. Next is Jack-in-the-Box Zombie. Jax's team is Electrode, Mr. Mime, Mr. Rhyme, Floatzel, Bannet, and Hisuian Zorwar. Electrode because of his explosion, Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme reference the Chinese version of the game, where Jack is called Clown or Jester Zombie. Floatzel because of the tune Jack plays, Pop Goes the Weasel, and Bannet and Hisuian Zorwar to show his crazy and creepy aesthetic. Next up is Balloon Zombie. Balloon's team is Drifblim, Wigglytuff, Jumpluff, Mawile, Bannet, and Cacturn. Drifblim and Wigglytuff because both Pokemon are based on balloons, Jumpluff because its pre-evolution Skiploom has a headpiece similar to Balloon Zombie's hat, and Mawile, Bannet, and Cacturn for having faces similar to the face on the balloon. Up next is Digger Zombie. Digger's team is Dugtrio, Alolan Dugtrio, Diggersby, Sandslash, Excadrill, and Ursaluna. This team explains itself perfectly. All of Digger Zombie's Pokemon can dig very well. That's kind of it. Up next is Pogo Zombie. Pogo's team is Purugly, Spinda, Sandaconda, Oinkalone, Poliwrath, and Grumpig. This team is primarily because of Pogo Zombie's love to spring all over the place with his Pogo Stick, so I gave him a team filled with Pokemon that have a spiral pattern to focus on the sproing effect all over his almanac and other info. Next is the Zombie Yeti. Yeti's team is Beartick, Frostlass, Abomasnow, Annihilate, Galarian Darmanitan, and Baxcalibur. The Zombie Yeti's team is filled with Pokemon that are similar to him in appearance, with majority of these Pokemon being an Ice type, fitting the cold climate nature of the Zombie Yeti. Next up is Bungee Zombie. Bungie's team is Thievul, Carnivine, Gourgeist, Cherim, Grumpig, and Toxtricity. Thievul because of Bungie's ability to steal plants, Carnivine, Gourgeist, and Cherim for the plants used in the Bungie level Roof 5-5, Grumpig because of its pre-evolution Spoink and Bungie springing out of the screen when affected by Umbrella Leaf, and Toxtricity since Bungie is known for being a risk taker, and Toxtricity has a move Risk Taker in the TCG. Up next is Ladder Zombie. Ladder's team is Bibarel, Machamp, Mudsdale, Excadrill, Electivire, and Conkeldurr. Ladder Zombie's team is centered on the idea of construction. Bibarel because beavers construct water dams, Machamp and Mudsdale for moving heavy equipment and resources around, Excadrill for excavation and foundation, Electivire for electricity power for the equipment and electrical layout, and Conkeldurr for being the construction Pokemon itself. Next is Catapult Zombie. Catapult Zombie's team is Hariyama, Scolipede, Lucario, Machamp, Dragonite, and Dracopult. Hariyama because Catapult Zombie has a similar body shape to it, Scolipede because Catapult Zombie becomes a fast steamroller when it runs out of basketballs, Lucario, Machamp, and Dragonite because of their scoring animations in Pokemon Unite being the closest thing to a basketball dunk, and Dracopult because Catapult. Up next is Gargantuar. Gargantuar's team is Rhyperior, Barbaracle, Tyrantrum, Dragonite, Baxcalibur, and Rillaboom. Gargantuar's team is meant to show the big, hulking, and destructive nature of the zombie. The might, defense, and appearance of Gargantuar is shown in this team, with big bodies, big offense, and big defense. Next is Imp. Imp's team is Tatsugiri, Throw, Sock, Hitmonchan, Kangaskhan, and Tinkaton. Tatsugiri because of the Twist Titan in Scarlet and Violet having the same role as Imp and Gargantuar. Throw, Sock, and Hitmonchan because of Imp's proficiency in Zombie Judo, Zombie Karate, and Zombie Bare Knuckle Brawling. Kangaskhan for its reverse similarity to Imp and Gargantuar, and Tinkaton for its stature similar to Imp. Up next is Dr. Zomboss. Dr. Zomboss's team is Blazebreed Tauros, Sharpedo, Copperajah, Toxtricity, Tyrantrum, and Salamence. Dr. Zomboss's team is meant to reference his other Zombots. Blazebreed Tauros from the Zombie War Wagon, Sharpedo from the Zombot Sharktronic Sub, Copperajah from the Zombot Tuskmaster 10,000 BC, Toxtricity from the Zombot Multistage Masher, Tyrantrum from the Zombot Dinotronic Mechasaur, and Salamence from the Zombot Dark Dragon. And that is the complete version of Plants vs. Zombies but Pokemon. This was a blast to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on. Comment down below which team you enjoyed the most, and don't be afraid to leave suggestions for the next edition of Blank but Pokemon. And as always, I'm HermitGRAB, and I'll see you soon.